Hello YouTube, this is Savox80 and I'm here to give you an overview and review of the RC8.2e. So right now I'm showing you the outside of the RC8.2e with Duratrax Lockup tires, C2 compound, TBR racing bumpers, and the factory team kit wing from either Proline or J Concepts, I'm not sure. Alright, so first I'm going to start off on the electronics. Not everything is stock in here. I have the stock ESC, brushless ESC, the SC1300BL. This ESC has come unglued multiple times from doing ridiculous jumps over at BMX track places. Next, I'm going to show you the brushless Reedy 2000 kV 1515 engine. This looks like the Ripper from the MT4 or the EB4, the Thunder Tiger series, just rebranded over. And here is a Savox 1256 TG servo. I had the original and it died out after a few runs. I was pretty disappointed with it, but I read on forums that it was supposed to die out pretty early, so I wasn't surprised either. We have 16mm shocks, very good for taking big jumps. They absorb all of it, especially on a track. If you have a rough track or one that has very big jumps, these shocks take it all in, and you feel like you're gliding over the ground. Sorry. I bash this buggy. I've raced it once or twice. Just go out to the track and have fun with my friends. And this is, if you want, I could see this competing at a club or local level. It could be competed higher, but I think it'd be a lot easier just to go out with a Techno or a Mugen or a Kyosho. So now I'm going to talk about the durability of this car. This car is, like any other A-scale buggy, built to be durable. I have beat on this car so much, it's not even funny. I have had breakages and I've had to replace things, but they've been a lot less than most of my other RC cars. So I recently have just rebuilt the diff because it looked like the sun gear had stripped a tooth on it. So I rebuilt that, filled that with 5,000 fluid, and then let's see what other breakages I've had. I've had right here. It's my most recent breakage. I have a broken chassis brace. Now these are also known to break, the weak points on this vehicle, and you can just upgrade to aluminum if you want to go that route. But I'm just gonna stick with plastic since it's cheaper. Alright, I'll show you some of the upgrades I've done other that I have not mentioned. I have put the factory team, the mud guards. I have upgraded the radio because after bashing and doing some ridiculous huge jumps, my radio would not connect to my car. And I was thinking that it was either the ESC or the radio, but later testing, I figured out that it was the radio because I plugged in one of my other radios and I figured out that it was that. So I love this car. I think that it's probably one of the most durable cars I have ever had here. I've gone through so many other parts of my other cars and they've taken nowhere near as much abuse as this thing has. And I am proud to say that I would easily buy this car again. Now some suggested upgrades that I do is, I would say if you are going to buy the ready-to-run version of this vehicle, I would suggest just go buy a steering servo. You can either do that, or whenever you first get your car, loosen this, and that will add length to the time that it will take for your steering servo to go out. They're prone to go out with only 100 and some odd ounces of torque. I think it's 120 on the 1510. That just isn't enough for the competition nowadays with these big, heavy A-scale buggies. Another upgrade I would recommend would be these TBR bumpers. Whenever first getting into A-scale buggies, it was a lot different than a two-wheel drive short course and stadium truck. So the air control was a lot more responsive than those two vehicles. So I had to get used to having way more control. So I got these suckers to help me, if I landed wrong, not hurt my rear suspension parts or my front suspension parts. These, what I've noticed is that the body doesn't really get that beat up. It's more the shock towers in the wing. I've already gone through the ready to run wing. It just shredded off and it cracked right here. So what I suggest is not pick. You don't have to pick up another shock tower, but I'd suggest watching out, because the screw that goes into here that holds the shock gets bent a fair amount. I've already had to replace it twice now, and the shock cap will get scratched up. So you might want to watch out that if you're gonna be running high speeds or on-roaded, if you flip the car on concrete, it will scratch it up a fair amount. Now, value. It's A scale, so you get bang for your buck, because this thing is probably one of the most durable cars I've ever driven. I think what they should have put a higher torque servo, personally, because you have to go spend out another, if you get a name brand servo, you go spend another $70 to $100 on a nice titanium gear or steel gear or metal gear servo, and then you have to add an aluminum horn to that. The other one, the stock one, was metal geared, but it did not have an aluminum horn. I was surprised about that. It came with a plastic horn. I was a little bit disappointed with that. But overall, I love this buggy, and I'd suggest it to anybody who's looking to get into A scale. Alright, over and out.